Well, a very good evening to each and every one of you, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester with me, Ms. Belinda Scandal, and my special guest co-host this week, the one and only Adam Zaid. How are you?
I'm thrilled to be here.
Are you really? Listen, thank you for this. We've got you in because, well, basically, you're doing an awful lot, and you've got an awful lot to celebrate. And we've just found out that you're going to be on this in the cinema with a programme you did.
I know,
which
yes.
It's going to be very, very, very exciting. That is, of course, Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk, hitting the big screens.
Well, one episode, anyway.
Well, my episode, so I don't mind.
That's what's important, isn't it? Your episode. But listen, for people who don't know, yes, you were in that, but you have done an awful lot before that and an awful lot after that. In fact, you're celebrating 20 years with your production house now.
Yes, 20 years of Hive North, which is just incredible, and still going strong. You know, still got plays happening in schools across Manchester, and Jock Night is returning next year. So yeah, really, really amazed that we've made 20 years.
20 years. What was the first one you ever did?
The first play we ever did was the Laramie Project,
Right.
which told the story of Matthew Shepherd.
Yeah.
And purely by chance this year, I get a phone call from Manchester Metropolitan University saying, "We've had an idea. Would you like to come and direct the Laramie Project?"
Oh.
So 20 years on, I revisited the play with this incredible cast and incredible crew, and some really just true talent at that university. But it meant that I can say I've gone full circle.
Yeah.
You know, we started with the Laramie Project, and it fell on our 20th year, you know, to celebrate how far we've come, but also take a moment to remember Matthew Shepherd and what happened to him.
And how do you go about choosing which projects you want to kind of do?
Well, it depends on finances a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the Arts Council, Outstage Us is usually an annual event, so we try and keep that annual, but it depends on Arts Council because, you know, we pay all our artists. So unless we get funding, we can't do plays. So it's all about finding either Arts Council or private sponsorship, because we're just really passionate that all artists should be paid fairly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a lot of exciting things happening coming up.
Really? Anything you can share with us?
Well, I've got a couple of interesting directing things because I also, separate to Hive North, I go off and I direct for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a little festive show coming later on in the year, which I don't know, you might recognise the story.
Yeah,
I mean,
really?
Maybe if people search for A Christmas Carol with a Belinda Scandal.
Momentous times. Momentous times. Why we decided to do music. You're obviously passionate about people getting paid because you've been an actor, you've been a director, you've been on both sides of it, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. And I think, when you leave drama school or wherever you've been, a youth theatre, you do jobs for fun, and you do jobs because you love it. But people can get taken advantage of, and people have to be paid. You've got to earn a living. Yeah. I would love to do, show after show after show, but unfortunately, I also need to pay my bills. Yeah. And I think, artists, whether they are fabulous performers like you, or struggling.
Like me.
Struggling actors just leaving drama school. Yeah. We need to think this is an industry, and people need to earn a living.
When you first set up Hive, did you think it would go 20 years?
Not at all. No. I only did it because I was passionate about tackling homophobia in schools, and the fact that show Out Loud. We've just heard that we've been commissioned again to go into schools in Manchester. And so 20 years on, to still be fighting homophobia and challenging discrimination and talking about Matthew Shepherd and hate crime, that's a lot more than I could ever have dreamed of. So, yeah, I'm really proud of that work that we do.
One other thing that you did, of course, that we need to kind of touch on is a little programme that we like to call Queer as Folk.
Ah, yes.
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 Now, First of all, did you have to audition for that? How did it come about? What
I
happened?
did. I auditioned, I believe, for Anthony's part.
Oh, really? Anthony Cotton, of course.
Anthony Cotton.
Yes.
And I'm sure Phil Collinson, obviously incredible producer of Coronation Street and Doctor Who and so many other things.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was up for the part as well.
Really? Was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
But Anthony Cotton got the part and
yes.
played him brilliantly. And I got the part of his kind of sidekick, Dane.
Well, I've managed to track down my absolute favourite within that there show. And she's here for you now. The one and only Denise Black is joining us, everybody.
Oh, hello,
the
Adam.
legend.
And did you just call me your favourite, Belinda? I'm very honoured.
I mean, you've played a few of my favourites. You played Elsie Tanner.
I did.
A few years back.
I did, a long few years. I did indeed. That was a very strange one.
Well, it's a strange story that she had for her life, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was actually a bigger piece that was rolling around. We're talking about Granada days here, Belinda. So I think that they imagined doing something longer on Pat Phoenix, who played Elsie Tanner. But because everybody in the building had known her and because of her position, she was past. So I think they were kind of nervous of actually portraying her. And in the end, we just did a one-off thing called Things You Do for Love, which was about her love affair with Tony Booth.
Yeah, amazing. But then you go and do such characters like our lovely character within Queer as Folk there, our Hazel. I mean, what a character art. I mean, she was not utilised, I feel, enough within that show.
Well, she could have had a spin-off at one point. There was rumours because everyone loved the character so much.
More than rumours, Adam. There were 32 scripts. That's a very I believe so.
Really?
Yeah, but then it got sold to America because for reasons that we won't go into, political reasons, I think. And I got to meet my heroine from Cagney and Lacey, who played. Yeah, I know. Can you believe?
Sharon Glass, of course, she played you, didn't she?
Yes, she did, darling. And so I had little hair things. Look, I've got some Hazel hair things in memory of Hazel. I had little hair things, just cheapo, do you know what I mean? Plastic and turquoise and dangly and sparkly, probably. And I sent them over and she wore them in the series and sent back a continuity photo. Those were the days, those little Polaroids.
Oh.
So let's go back to the beginning of this then. Queer as Folk came your way, and how did it arrive for you? And then when you got it, how did you develop that character to be one of the standout characters?
It was strange how it arrived. My agent got hold of me, very excited about the project. I got sent, I think, 2 episodes and a kind of plan for the series. So not a lot of Hazel, because Hazel's not in one much. And just a couple of lines about who she was. And I went up north. I just, in my wisdom, had dyed my hair a Cleopatra purple. And I thought, I don't know what I did that for. And I arrived and I motorbiked to the train in London and gone all the way up to Manchester, and I still had my little scooter helmet and everything. And I felt so wrong for the part. And I remember Russell beaming, and I read the scene, and then there was a terrible silence. And then I was very, very nervous. And I said, oh, please say something, even if it's just do it better. And there was another long silence. And then Charles McDougall, who I've just worked with again, said, do it better.
Was the pair of you aware just how significant a piece of television this was setting out to be?
Do you want to answer that, Adam?
I think we were. I think we all knew that we were doing something that had never been done before. I mean, every time you'd get a script, you'd go, wow, is this actually going to be on Channel 4? But it was just such a joyous time as well. We were all excited because I don't know about you, Denise, but I think there was a few days where we started to look back at what they'd shot on the day. And you just go, oh my God, they're making Manchester look like Los Angeles. Like, it looks so glamorous, and there's fairy lights in the trees.
It was, because I hadn't been to Canal Street until Queer as Folk. It was actually like, oh, there is somewhere to go. It was like literally a calling card. And you walk down Canal Street without the nice lights and the set, and it wasn't quite the same.
No.
But you longed for it to be that beautiful, glamorous walk.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, it was different for me because I was just so innocent. I don't know what words I can and can't say on this, but there was an activity in episode 1 that I had to question what the activity was. My agent, which is an unusual question. And then, so I went up early, and I went, I'm a bit of a sucker for research. So I went to Canal Street as myself before any filming started. And I went into the Union because I understood that the Union was Hazel's home. Yeah. And I watched the karaoke as myself. And I was like, I felt like I'd landed in a place that I didn't know existed. It was a place where there were very different rules to the world that I lived in. And I just watched. I love to observe anyway. And I'll never forget, there was a lady, and she was dressed very demurely in kind of office outfit. And for the karaoke, she put her name down, and she stood in one corner very demurely, and didn't sing until quite towards the end of the evening. And then she came onto the stage, and obviously they knew her because she obviously sang regularly. And she sang Bat Out of Hell, Meatloaf's cover, in the Meatloaf range, and then went back to being demure and went back to her seat. And I remember thinking, I don't know the rules here. I don't know what's going on. And so it was an eye-opener for me. It was like a new world, like you say, Belinda, that it was just amazing to me.
What about when it came out then? For all intents and purposes, yes, you were creating something wonderful, but then it comes out, it hits Channel 4, and there's backlash, but there's also you being acclaimed for it as well. How did that kind of feel as actors to get both, told off for putting something like this out and also being patted on the back for putting something like this out?
Or do you remember the press launch that we went to?
Oh, go on, remind me.
Well, there was I think they screened an episode for journalists, and the mood in the room wasn't friendly. We knew there was going to be trouble, and it was quite controversial. Like sponsorships pulled out. It was a big deal. It was like the tabloids were all over it, but people loved it, and still do.
I see how I felt. So I'd done lots of theatre, not lots of telly at that point. I'd done so much, and I'd done variety as well. What was called new variety, and been an act on the circuit. And so to be queer to me was just like, well, of course, it wasn't an issue. It wasn't something that you discussed. Loads of people were, loads of people weren't, loads of people were whoever they wanted to be. And I didn't know, I genuinely was innocent that it was such a big issue to be out.
I mean, I did Queer as Folk, and it was probably like the biggest job I'd had out of drama school.
Right.
But when I left drama school, which wasn't that long before, I was told, do not tell anyone you're gay. As an actor,
I see.
You
what
shouldn't
tell work.
Don't tell people at work because you won't be able to play straight parts. You want to play the handsome lead. Do you remember when I was the handsome lead?
I remember it well. Yes.
Certainly more role models out there now for young kids. When I think, and when I like Heartstopper, there's like dramas like Heartstopper that are on television now, where if I was a teenager watching two teenagers falling in love, I think that would have changed my life. I think I would have gone, oh, it's okay to be gay. I am that. I can do that. I can be happy.
Well, there is so many more of these programs that are out now, but you take it straight back, and the one that you can think of instantly, certainly from my generation, is Queer as Folk.
Yeah,
I've just finished Sex Education, series 4, the final one, and I mean, I don't believe that could have been made in the environment that we made Queer as Folk in. Queer as Folk opened the door, but I felt that what we learned was that the public were way overdue and ready for Queer as Folk. It was the owners of the media who were worried about the controversy.
Yes.
The data on the street were going, you're not telling us anything we don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
So we had Queer as Folk season 1.
Yes.
And then, of course, the elephant in the room is, should it have come back for season 2? What's your thoughts on that, Denise?
Well, we did a series 2, didn't we? And originally it was going to be a series. And the story that Russell told me was that he was writing series 2, and he suddenly realised that there was only one story left to tell. It was the will they, won't they between the two principal boys. And he felt that that was a film. So he actually wrote it as a film, I think, and then regrafted it so it was 2 episodes. So that's what he made the center of it, you know, the Vincent.
And my part got cut.
Oh my God. Is that what happened?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not talking about Queer as Folk anymore. Let's talk about experiences.
No, but do you know what? I mean, obviously, because someone had said to me, "Oh my God, I've seen the scripts for the second season. Wait till you see what you do. It's hysterical." And I was like, "Oh my God, this is so exciting." Literally the next day, my agent rings and goes, "You're cut. You're out of it."
Mm-hmm.
So I was devastated, obviously, but this is a good life lesson. The next week, I got a job at the Royal Exchange, working with Jim Cartwright in a play called Prize Night. And it was one of the greatest things I ever did, and one of the happiest, most joyous jobs I ever got. And I wouldn't have been able to do it if I'd have got Queer as Folk 2. You know, the one actor who came to visit me in the Royal Exchange to come and see me in Prize Night? Lovely Denise came to see me, which was gorgeous.
But didn't we bond?
Oh, totally.
I think how I felt was that you guys were the guys taking the risks. There was no risk for me. As far as I was concerned, I couldn't see one. There was no risk. I wasn't worried about anything. I thought it was really, really cool because I come fairly recently from Corrie and then not worked for a couple of years. And Queer as Folk was fairly soon after that, dearth, you know. And I thought it was a really exciting antidote, you know, like if you can take, I don't know how many Corrie people would actually like Queer as Folk, but I don't know what the crossover is.
I mean, you've not stopped, Denise, but I mean, where would you imagine Hazel and her son being these days?
Well, I suppose I would hope that Vince would get completely out from under of Hazel, because I did feel she monopolised him. And she was always screwing him for a tenner or something. And I always felt like she sort of was you know, he felt like he needed to fly, didn't he? And so how would he be now? Well, do you think Stuart and Vince are together? Do you think?
No, it wouldn't last. It wouldn't have lasted. I'm sure Vince is somewhere like Broadbottom or Hebden Bridge or somewhere lovely.
I imagine he's got a sticker in the front of his car for National Trust.
Yes.
I imagine he's definitely got one of them. And I imagine he's a lot more relaxed these days with a huge group of friends. And I don't think the onus will be so much of him being in love.
Yes. And,
that is a beautiful, beautiful vision.
He might have learned from his mom. He might be like looking after people, inspiring people. He might be working for a
dead,
charity.
So he's definitely got.
Hazel's dead. I forgot.
Dead.
Yeah, Hazel's dead. Don't you remember? She came back as a ghost.
Cucumber.
In Cucumber.
Oh my God.
And that's not the only time Denise has thought she's died recently, is it?
No.
I've heard about Coronation Street. Tell us about that.
Well, I was going for a walk. I'm here in Bradford with my daughter. And I went for a walk and a woman stopped me and she said, "I know who you are." And so we got talking and then she said, "You're dead." And I said, "No, I'm not." And she said, "Yeah, you are." She said, "In Coronation Street." I said, No, I'm dead in Emmerdale." She said, "No, you're dead in Coronation Street." So I had to come home and Google, is Denise Osborne alive? And it's still controversial because some people say that my son in the story, Daniel, inherited 400,000. Well, I think the word inherited does imply she's dead, but maybe she gifted it.
It's amazing. What's this about you working with David Tennant in something?
Oh, I'm his secretary. I'm his secretary. I wish I could show you the picture. You will not recognise me. It's a character I've never ever played. She's a secondary, like Hazel was in Queer. So it's another shag fest in which I don't get any. Right? Yes, exactly. What are they trying to tell me? I look very sterile in it. I'm a very loyal secretary. I don't know that she's ever had sex, darling. I'm not sure that she has.
And this is a big, big show, though, isn't it? This is
it's
Disney Plus.
I have seen some of it, and I am telling you, it's to die for. It's Ginny Cooper's. She wrote a novel called Rivals, and Dominic Treadwell has finally brought it. It's a project that's taken a long time to get to here, in the same way that Russell carried Queer for a very long time before it got, I think, a decade.
We're being told we're out of time for today, but I could speak to you for hours because your story. You had a memoir out.
Will I be able to see you on Friday, Belinda? Will you be around?
I will be around, yes.
I can't wait to see you. And Adam, I think it's disgusting that you're missing Pride by going to Barcelona.
I'm so sorry I won't be there, but
I love you
hopefully
very much.
we will catch up very soon.
Yeah, we will.
I love you to bits.
Definitely need. For now, though, thank you so much for your time, Denise. Thank you.
Bye, love. Bye.
Well, we are literally running up to Pride now, and you're all thinking, what do we do with the week before Pride? What do we do, everybody? Well, there is, of course, one thing you could do. You could be hooking in with films like programmes like what you've made. Now, Scene Festival is here in Manchester, and it is going to be absolutely brilliant. It's going to promise you a load of LGBTQ plus films, TV programmes, and lovely events as well. And the people behind that are joining us now. Welcome to the show, Gary. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you for having me.
Tell us all about this then. What is Scene Festival?
Scene Festival is a new festival, as you say, is happening as part of an expanded Manchester Pride. So lots of exciting stuff happening. You might see it advertised 16th to the 26th, so a full sort of 11 days of stuff. So obviously Manchester Pride do Superbia and all of their amazing events. We're a partner event, and it's a brand new film and TV festival. So something a bit different to be doing. And obviously Manchester is known as a hub of TV films. There's obviously Ian McKellen's born here. Coronation Street is from here, the world's longest running soap. But it's definitely got that, the city's so known for that, and a lot of amazing LGBT creators and actors who create work as well in the city. So I think it's about time that we had an LGBT film and TV festival like they have in London for BFI Flair, and lots of other great events like Gaze over in Dublin and Queer Vision in Bristol. So ours has got a bit of a TV. It's not just film, it's film and TV. For this one.
So this is, of course, then going to be celebrating TV programmes that have been on already, or programmes that are coming up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixture, really. So we're celebrating, there's loads of great new films and celebrations of new TV shows like Lost Boys and Fairies, and we've got a really great programme of amazing documentary and narrative features on the film side as well. But we're also celebrating classic films and TV. So one of the classic films we're celebrating is Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. But we're also celebrating classic TV shows like, I don't want to say classics. It makes people who were in it sound like
he doesn't get offended. He doesn't get offended. We know his work has been archived already.
Classic show. Which one would that be?
Mm-hmm. I take it we're referring here to Queer as Folk.
We are indeed, yes. Our first ever event is on Friday, celebration of Queer as Folk, and we hope both of you can make it down and be part of it.
Oh, wow.
Well, I would love to, but unfortunately, I'm jetting off on holiday, so I'll miss it. But a lot of my friends will be there, like Denise and Carla, and so I'm sure it's going to be a fabulous time.
Tell everybody who you played in Queer as Folk.
I played Dane McAteer. It was in a very infamous scene involving...
He was one of the Butch characters, weren't he?
Yes, I was.
The Butcher's one, I think.
Yeah.
I ended up in a threesome with a leather guy and a snake.
Yes.
So that might be the episode we're showing. I think that's episode 3.
It is.
Yeah, Russell has picked his favourite episode, and he picked episode 3, and that's the episode we're showing. So if you want to see it on the big screen,
how fabulous! It is an amazing episode. It's because for people who haven't seen it, there's There's a lot of drama, a lot of comedy in the episode. It's fabulous.
And it's just a big night out on Canal Street, isn't it? That episode,
Yeah.
really. It really celebrates Canal Street in Manchester, as the show did, obviously.
Yeah.
It did change a lot of people's lives, that program, though. How did it affect your life when you saw it on television?
I remember watching this when I was 15, and so I was the same age as Nathan. So like it was something that I just was like, wow, like is this something I want? I don't want? I don't know, but it's definitely something that I loved at the time, and it's like I said, it's classic for a reason because it's just genuinely brilliant.
Putting this festival together, how did you go about choosing what you would include or not include within this festival?
Oh, that's the thing. I mean, as you say, you were talking about before. It is the tagline for the festival is "Queer Stories on Screen," and that's what it's all about. It's about celebrating the diversity of different queer stories, and obviously, it's for our community to come along and support, but it's for absolutely everybody. And there's no, one of the best ways to learn about other people's lives is to see it to be told through a story, especially sort of through, choosing to go to the cinema or having it sort of beamed into your living room on the TV screen. So, for us, it's about absolutely everything. We've got a real mixture of different shorts, like I said, new films, old films, camp films. We were celebrating, the films that we, have taken to heart as a community. Like we've got a series of different camp musical screenings out on First Street that are all for free. But then we've also got sort of very serious films like David Weissman, the documentary filmmaker, who is presenting two of his classic documentaries over at Aviva Studios. One is The Coquettes, which obviously is about the 60s, 70s sort of hippie drag scene in San Francisco, but one is about the AIDS epidemic in San Francisco and his own personal sort of story through it. But also, it was one of the first times in documentary forms that the real sweep of what happened from beginning all the way through the 90s was captured and summarized. So there's a real mixture of different stuff, and that's what we tried to do, is make sure there's a real, like I said, lots of fun stuff, lots of daft stuff, but a mixture of serious stuff. And do you know what? And that's the thing about sometimes queer lives, is it's both at the same time, isn't it?
Mm.
Well, just look at us.
I know, exactly. You've got a panel that's going to be doing the Queer as Folk thing, but you've also got Owain as well. He's going to be part of your
yes, festival. Owain, who everybody knows from drumming and weather presenting and everything else in Radio 2. He's the moderator, and when we offered it to him to do, he was like, "Yes, I've been waiting my life to do this," because it's obviously something that had a big impact on him. So it's nice to have somebody who's got the energy and knowledge and love of the show to be doing the interview. So, and we just had this as exclusive actually. Anthony Cotton's just confirmed that he'll be joining us too, along with Denise and Carla and Nicola Schindler and Russell. It's a real packed panel. You'll be missed though.
Reunited.
I know. I'm gutted, but I will be.
You need a holiday though.
I know.
You work very hard.
I do work very hard, and I'll be raising a cocktail to you all.
Fabulous.
I wonder if the day will ever come where we'll be able to get all of the cast of Queer as Folk back together.
Well, it'd be a bit of a coup because they're all across the world right now, aren't they? Some of the Hollywood movie stars.
Indeed.
Mr. Hunman.
Yes, the lovely Charlie.
Yes, very lovely. I think we saw more of him years ago than we perhaps should have, or maybe wanted, or could have seen. I had to watch Queer as Folk, right, on my little TV set in my bedroom. Because could you imagine sitting there with my mother watching that?
Oh, how old were you?
56. Listen, it's the Take It Back. So where's that event with Owain going to be on at?
So that's on New Century Hall. It's literally on Friday, 16th. And we've still got a few tickets left, but not many. So snap them up. And that's from 8 o'clock. And there's also a party afterwards. So we've got, they do the big Babylon celebration nights at Cruise. We've got Craig Law from Gajo who DJs at that. And we've got lots of Go-Go Boys, and we've got shag tags. That'll all be happening downstairs in the bar.
Oh, the shag tags.
Yes. Them with the days. You've also got an event going on at Juicy Street as well.
Yes, there may be the hangover brunch, but we've got a celebration of First Dates, the Channel 4 dating show, which has been running for 10 years, and highlighting all of the amazing LGBT dates and love stories that have happened on that show. That will be hosted by the journalist Scott Bryan, who does an amazing TV podcast, and they've got Aoife, who's one of the new LGBT waiting staff, and the producer, and they'll be talking about all those different storylines. It's only £5 and you get free mimosas. That's at 11 o'clock over at Deuce's Warehouse. That's the bargain. I just want to let you know as well, all of the tickets are £15 and under, and 100% of the profits get donated to Manchester Pride charity too. So everyone that you come to is being donated, means that it's being donated and put back into the community too. And we tried to make sure we've got a mixture of free events and everything is under £15 so everybody can be involved.
That's amazing. I guess that's going to be included within the quiz that you're doing as well then?
Yes, this is another matinee. It's 2 o'clock over at Aviva Studios. We've got, this is another celeb guest. So Kate O'Donnell will be reviving her short one-woman show, Hayley and Me, which is a celebration of Hayley Cropper. And Julie Hesmondhall shall be joining us for that as a cameo. She'll be donning the red anorak again. And then afterwards, we'll be hosting a camp soap quiz where Julie will be one of the team captains, and that's called Quizabella Rossellini, which is a camp quiz, camp film and TV quiz.
I'm missing that.
It's a full event. It's a full week from the 16th to the 22nd, isn't it?
The 22nd, yeah, exactly. All the way through, like I said, to the Priscilla, Queen of the Desert closing event with Davina De Campo. And, we've so many, I got so happy then I banged my computer, that we got lots of stuff sort of running all the way through.
It sounds fantastic. And finally, we need to talk about David Wiseman.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Like I said, that one is he's sort of in residency at Aviva Studio showing the Coquettes and the A's documentary We Were Here. But we've also got some parties around it. But he's just, if you're into your queer documentaries, then get down and pick his brains about it, really. But like I said, we've got a real strand of amazing documentaries too. We've got one that's being hosted at Vanilla, which is obviously now in area bar in the village, called the Lesbian Bar Project, and that's a documentary project that's been documenting how lesbian scenes in different cities are changing, less and less sort of lesbian bars in different places. So this one is a sort of exploration of what's going on over in Berlin, but we're also talking to people in the Manchester lesbian scenes about what's going on with lesbian parties and lesbian bar spaces in the city. So yeah, like I said, there's a real mixture of different topics, especially in our documentary strand.
For people that are just tuned in, they're interested, they're coming to this, they want to get tickets. Where do they get tickets? How much are tickets? Just tell everybody basically where to go to make sure they attend this beautiful festival of yours.
Yeah, www.scenefestival.com, SCENE, or follow us scene_festival on Instagram. Like I said, all the tickets are £15 under. Many of them are free, so do check out. It's really clear on the website. So we've got a great lesbian cheerleader film called Backspot that's on at 8 o'clock at Yes on the Sunday that's completely free, and lots of great events that are free, or £15 and under, most of them £5, and you can get, and like I said, the donation, even the booking fee has been donated by Skiddle to Manchester Pride charity.
It's fantastic. Everybody get behind this one. It's going to be amazing. Right, well, thank you so much for your time today, my love. And we look forward to seeing this event unfurl around our beautiful city. Thank you very much, Gary. Right, well, unfortunately, that is it for this week. Thank you so much for being our lovely guest.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely amazing. Check out Scene Festival. It's going to be amazing. There's loads and loads of things in there for everybody. And even if you don't know what things to watch, make sure you check one of them out. It's going to be fantastic. All the details are on our website and will be all over our socials for the next week or so whilst the festival is carrying on. In the meantime, though, join us next week. We're going to be speaking to Paul from Coronation Street, everybody. Just slightly ahead of maybe his departure from that beautiful soap known as Coronation Street. And we've got loads more for you as well. Back with Mark next week. In the meantime, thanks for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.